Today in the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we're going to be talking about Takeshita's big win at the G1 Climax, and that brings the situation that he just happened to win in Japan. That storyline will be brought to AEW, and I'm going to explain to you why. Also, we're definitely going to be talking about this. WWE's obsession with killing AEW, and now they're going to try to use TNA to combat AEW's programming on Wednesday. They're going to be using TNA to go against AEW on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about that and much more. We are live today. We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, episode 258. And today, we're going to be talking about the G1, Who Won It, and WWE with the obsession of them trying to kill AEW. We're going to be talking about all that and much more. So let's start it off with the G1 Climax. Now, the G1 is one of my favorite tournament of the year. And I say that because it's New Japan Pro Wrestling, and New Japan does the tournament the best anywhere in the world. And of course, they had the G1 this year. My predictions were that either David Finlay or Yoda Sushi was going to win it and whatnot, or it could have been Shota Umino, any of those guys to win the G1. It wasn't until like the beginning of July that I found out that Takeshita was going to be part of the G1 Climax and whatnot. And I personally thought, well, you know what? Takeshita's going to have another opportunity to win it, to win the G1 Climax, because last year he was one of the top 4 guys in the semifinals, but he lost. I believe he lost to David Finlay last year, and he wasn't able to win the G1 Climax. Of course, Sabre Jr. won that. And then a couple of months later, he won the IWGP title and whatnot. And so that pretty much set up Zack Sabre to win the title. Now, speaking about Zack Sabre Jr. ended up facing Takeshita. But we're going to be talking about not once, but twice. But we're going to be talking about that. But I want to talk about the upsets there were in the G1 this year. We had Yoshihashi defeated Shingo Takagi, which Yoshihashi, the only reason he was in it because Hiroki Goto got hurt because, you know, he got in the ring with Zack Sabre Jr. and he dropped the title to Zack Sabre Jr. You know what Zack Sabre Jr. gets in that ring? He stretches your ligament. You know what I'm saying? So he pretty much put out Hiroki Goto out of the G1 Climax. So Yoshihashi was given a chance to get in the G1 Climax. He finished up with 8 points. He defeated Shingo Takagi, which was kind of surprising. Another surprising was Yuya Uemura defeating the never openweight champ Boltin Oleg. Boltin Oleg did very well in the G1. I think he finished up with 10 points, if I'm correct. Then we had Shota Umino defeated the TV champion El Phantasmo ELP. He finished, I believe, in 6 points. So Shota Umino is going to get a New Japan TV title match somewhere down the line. Roy Oiwa defeated David Finlay. David Finlay started horrible. Now, David Finlay was trying to do something that a lot of wrestlers have never done, and that is to win the New Japan Cup and then win the G1. I don't believe no one has ever done that, and he was trying to make history, but he started off with a bad spot. He lost. First, he lost to Roy Iowa. So he lost to them. Then we had Konosuke Takeshita. He defeated Gabe Kidd, but as I reported a couple of weeks ago, Gabe Kidd got hurt because upon landing 5 minutes into the match, Takeshita landed on his knee awkwardly and Gabe Kidd was out of the whole tournament. He was out by night 2, so he didn't participate. Colin Newman defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, a lot of people are going to say Colin Newman should have beat Tanahashi, but this kid is just 23 years old. He beat the ace. That was a shocking one. Then we saw Sonata defeat Evil, which these guys are part of House of Torture, but to see Evil lose to Sonata, especially with Evil the way he's been, he finished in the finals. Sonata, I don't know, he's a changed man. He's been, doing these gimmicks and when I'm walking around with a guitar. He's the Japanese version of Jeff Jarrett. And, he was there doing his thing. Then we had Taichi defeat David Finlay. There was another loss Finlay had. So he already had started bad in the tournament and whatnot. Then we had Yoshihashi defeat Julian Maloney. And that was a surprise to me because, Julian Maloney, he put up weight, went up to the heavyweights where he originally where he was from before he went back to the juniors. But then Shota Umino ended up defeating Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr., I think that was the only loss he had in the tournament, maybe his second one probably, but he lost to Shota Umino. And I'm sure Shota Umino is going to get another title shot. This guy's lucky. He's going to get another title shot down the line against Zack Sabre Jr. Bolton Oleg defeated Sonata, which was surprising. And whatnot, Colin Newman defeated David Finlay. So you can see Finlay kept losing, especially to Colin Newman. That was surprising. Yuya Onomura defeated Evil. Royal Oiwa defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi, but that's expected. Then Tanahashi defeated Yoda Sushi to win his 100th match at the G1 Climax. So Tanahashi is the only wrestler in New Japan history to win 100. He ended up with 101 wins on the G1. He's retiring at the end of this year, and won his last match, I think, will be Wrestle Kingdom, if I'm correct. But now that I mentioned all these, these shocking matches, David Finlay ended up going to the playoffs. Now, the playoffs, the way they do it is the top two guys from each block gets a semifinal round bye. Then the other two will go. They face each other, and then they face the top seeded guys. It's like playoffs, regular like baseball, like that. So during the playoffs, we had the one who took the worst beating out of going through the playoff was Takeshita. Takeshita had a deal with Ren Narita. And when you deal with Ren Narita, you got the House of Torture. So it was, especially the House of Torture. Throughout this whole tournament, they were out there interfering every single match that Evil was in it or Ren Narita was in it. So Narita did a very, I think he scored 10 points, but he didn't make the playoffs because of tiebreakers and all that. But, so it was, Takeshita went through hell just to get to the finals. He had to deal with Ren Narita. Then he had to deal with David Finlay. Then he had to deal with Zack Sabre Jr. And then last but not least, Evil. And there was, what came to Evil this match, there was interference everywhere. And Takeshita had a bad wheel through those 4 matches because they kept attacking his leg. His leg was wrapped every match. But, Takeshita did something that I don't think any wrestler that's not been part of, even though he got a contract in New Japan, but he's considered outsider because he's with AEW and DDT. I think, is the first non-New Japan wrestler, if you want to call that, to win the G1 Climax. I got to do my research. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. So to me, it was like, it was a fantastic performance that he did last year. I was rooting for him, and he ended up coming out short. But, he did his thing, whatever. Now, being that I said in the beginning of my introduction was this is going to take it to the AEW storyline. I'm going to tell you why. Now, you know that Okada joined the Don Callis family. Now, when Okada I think he won the belt. I think when he won the belt from Kenny Omega, Takeshita confronted him and told him that one day they're gonna have to meet in the ring one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? So now, what my storyline, if AEW is smart, they will go and put Okada versus Takeshita. Takeshita don't have to win because he's still gonna get a title shot at the IWGP title at Wrestle Kingdom or Kingdom Pro Wrestling in October, whichever. So he could cash in his IWGP G1 Climax contract. So my thing is, if AEW New Japan plays this smart, we could have an Okada versus Takeshita, and it could happen maybe Wrestle Dream. You know what I'm saying? A match between these two. And these two guys in the ring, it's going to be a crazy match. This is something I've been waiting for a while. I could see Takeshita leaving the Don Callis family. The Don Callis family is getting too big. You know what I'm saying? And I won't be surprised if Shane Taylor joins them. You already got Kyle Fletcher, who is probably Don Callis, piece of diamond, if you want to call that. Besides Okada. So, and they got belts. So we could definitely see Okada versus Takeshita in AEW and whatnot, and we could have it happen very soon. So if if AEW is very smart, they'll play this real good. Forbidden Door could be a perfect spot where Takeshita could confront Okada and whatnot. Because Okada already is going to defend that belt against, Swerve Strickland next Sunday. So, there could be a confrontation there, So it'll be cool to see. But Takeshita wins it. He wins the G1 Climax. I think he deserves it. It was a great tournament. And let me tell you something. When it comes to New Japan and they shows, I will lose sleep to watch these shows. Because this morning, as soon as I found out who won the G1, I went and I started watching the G1 finals. And I was all the way the last 2 weeks watching everything because I had to catch up. And it's not, these matches are long. They're 2 hours, but not even counting the tag team because I don't watch the tag team. I watch the actual matches from the G1 Climax. That's 2 hours watching that. So you can imagine I was up at 8:15 yesterday in the morning, and I didn't finish almost 10 o'clock at night watching everything and whatnot. So, but it was worth it. Let me tell you that. So going into professional wrestling now to the nonsense that WWE is doing now, which it caught my attention a couple of days ago when I read that WWE is obsessed with killing AEW. They don't want AEW to get another TV deal. So what are their plans? Instead of concentrating on their product and concentrating on the shows and how horrible it's been since WrestleMania, they are planning now to help TNA become the number 2 company in the world. And if they're doing it the way they're doing it now, where they're using NXT guys and they're taking the belt out of TNA guys and whatnot, and it's not going to work. First of all, nobody watches TNA. Okay, let's be real. There was a report around talking about there was only 880 something people watching Resurgence this past Friday on YouTube, and it was free. Okay, so no one cares for TNA. They only had 2,000 something people in the arena. Okay, now, mind you that they have some great talent in there and whatnot, but let's be realistic. Okay, I honestly feel that WWE already bought TNA. And the reason I say that because they got a puppet in there. That puppet name is Carlos Silva. Okay, every time, the last 2 pay-per-views that I seen, or that I, scrolled around and looked at it a little bit, Carlos Silva is somewhere in there. The guy was in the ring on when Tommy Dreamer, they gave Xia Li, whatever her name is, a new contract. The only reason they give her a new contract because in reality, nobody's going to sign that woman. Nobody. I'm not saying she can't wrestle, but nobody wants to sign her. WWE didn't care for her. They didn't bother to sign her, so TNA signed her. Okay, so WWE right now, what they're doing, they're using TNA as collateral. Okay, because TNA right now, if you think about it, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. A lot of people don't want to hear it. TNA was a dying company. Okay, when Scott D'Amore was let go, okay, that company didn't know what to do. Right now, I just saw that Sami Callihan retired, and the way I look at it, Sami Callihan had no choice but to retire because he doesn't fit in WWE's plans. And if I say in WWE and you say, wait a minute, but he wrestles in TNA, guys, let's be smart on this. You think that WWE hasn't bought TNA? They bought AAA, all right, under everybody's noses during WrestleMania week, and you see what they're doing with that company. Okay, so it's just I don't understand why WWE will do this. Okay, and they don't put their brand SmackDown or Raw against AEW. Mind you that they probably will beat AEW, Dynamite, or Collision every week. But you want competition. You claim AEW is not competition. Then put SmackDown, put Raw against AEW, Dynamite, or Collision. But you want to put first you put NXT. NXT couldn't beat us. Oh, let me not say beat us because people will go crazy. Couldn't beat AEW. Okay. And they couldn't beat AEW. So what they did, they moved them to Tuesday. And then when they moved it to Tuesday, now they started adding regular roster guys from Raw and SmackDown into NXT to beat AEW because AEW was whooping that ass every week. So when they start doing that and they figure, well, it's kind of, we keep bringing up regular guys and whatnot to NXT, we're gonna burn probably the fanfare. People are gonna get tired. So what they did, they did a deal with TNA and allowing the TNA I forgot her name. She's right now at NXT. So allowing NXT wrestlers to come in like Jordan Grace went and entered the Rumble a couple of years ago. Joe Henry. So think about it. They're using TNA guys. They're going to use TNA to try to take AEW out of any TV deal in the future. Okay. Now you asked this question. They went and made a deal with ESPN because they probably knew there could be a possibility that AEW could have some kind of connection with TNA. I mean, AEW with ESPN. You know what I'm saying? This is live, so I'm fucking up. That's what it is. I'm live. But the way I look at it is, they probably figured, well, let's do a deal with ESPN just in case AEW tries to make a deal with ESPN, because if they do, then we're done. They can't go back to Fox. So they made the move first. You know what I'm saying? So now, instead of doing something for the fans, doing something for, make things simple for the fans, no, they're not doing that. They made a deal with ESPN, but now in order for you to watch the pay-per-views, you got to pay $30 a month in order to see ESPN Plus. And if you got Peacock, if I don't know how much anybody pays for that, and it just putting the WWE universe or the fans in a bad position. They're not looking. They don't care about the fans. Okay, and definitely they don't care about wrestlers, because if you're trying to take out a whole company out of business, you don't care about the wrestlers who are in there and they will lose their jobs. WWE is known for that. Okay, and the funny thing is, their fan base, the ones that hate AEW so bad, they don't care. They're not looking at that. They're looking about, oh, we're gonna take them out. We're gonna take them out of. They ain't gonna be anywhere near anymore. They ain't gonna be in wrestling no more. This is what they're doing. This is how they think. They're not thinking that if this was to happen, that WWE does another monopoly takeover, you're going to be complaining like you did back in the 2000s when WCW went out of business. Okay. And the fact that WWE wants to help now TNA, when TNA was trying to compete with them during those years, and whatnot. Even Hulk Hogan came in with Eric Bischoff in 2009 to compete with WWE and whatnot. Nobody gave a rat's ass about TNA back in the days when they were going against WWE. Real wrestling fans. Now that is AEW, everybody all rooting for TNA. All these TNA clowns that didn't never supported TNA, that walked away from TNA. Now you want to jump back into the fold. I mean, I'm hearing people like, oh, I hope Karrion Kross go to TNA. No, why would he go to TNA when TNA was the one he left from the beginning with, when they were treating him like shit in 2019? Okay? So why would he go back to somewhere where they treated him wrong? But then again, you got a lot of wrestlers nowadays that they get treated like shit in WWE and they'll go back because they need the money. It's like, you know, most of these wrestlers that go back and then they still not in the main event or even in the mid card, they're just there for the dollar. They don't care about the fans. They get to perform. You know what I'm saying? I think I read something about Kelly wanting to have another match. For what? Oh, she is there because she wants money. Same thing with Nikki Bella. Why is Nikki Bella back? That woman can't wrestle for shit. But she's in a program with Becky Lynch. When you got other girls that have been there, she talking about, oh, I left this generation in your hand. That shit was the funniest thing. I'm like, what generation? When you was the champion, there was the Divas. That shit was garbage. The wrestling, my woman wrestling, is way much better than it was when you was the champion. The Divas era. That's why everybody hated AJ Lee when she told all the girls in the ring one night, you're all about want to be, you're not trying to even be a diva. You're trying to be movie stars. And she got a lot of heat for that. But she told the truth. But again, WWE, they are so set in trying to destroy AEW, killing AEW, don't want them to have another TV deal. And that they are not looking at their own program. Okay? I saw the SmackDown and they Raw this week. It's garbage. And I'll tell any podcaster, please do not ask me to do no review or preview of WWE because I don't care. Especially now. Okay? They brought Brock Lesnar back. You let Karrion Kross go and you expect me to go sit down and watch any other programming. Their shows have been horrible. Okay? Horrible. Anybody who disagree with me, let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Okay? We could go to the podcast, we could discuss it, but you know this is WrestleMania. It's been horrible. John Cena even admitted that his first promo as a heel was horrible. So WWE doesn't care about the fans. They're worried about money. Right now, they had Triple Mania yesterday, and they have this thing with the Mr. Iguana, whatever the hell his name is, and WWE is crazy about that because they're all about entertaining and the moments and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, Finn Balor popped out the Demonia, whatever the name is. You really they're selling this shit for $100 on WWE Shop? And people are like, oh, I don't want it. There's people that will buy that. They will buy that and then they sell it on eBay. That's the sad part. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. It is what it is. So, at the end of the day, I just don't understand it. Like, it's funny because they had a meeting with all the AAA wrestlers yesterday, Triple H. And he was talking about, oh, we're not trying to change you guys. We're trying to push you to be better. Nonsense. It's bullshit. Who you bullshitting, yo? Triple A is when I saw a little bit of it last night, there was some guy going against the rope. He was trying to give a kiss to Otis and whatnot. It was some freaking freaky shit and whatnot. Top it all, come to find out there's a wrestler called Medria, whatever his name, who had issue with Stephanie Vaquel. WWE signed him. So that's going to be an issue right there. And then to top it off, I saw something that really, really, I was like, Triple A, a bunch of clowns. And this is why they had to go and get bought by WWE. They had this wrestler called Taurus in there. In case nobody remembers, Black Taurus was Beast Motors, who's now at AEW. Okay, because he left AAA, he had to change the name from Black Taurus to Beast Motors. But last night, I saw a guy who had the same mask on in that match between Otis that was in the ring and Freako going up against the ropes and trying to kiss people. But that goes to show you, at one point last year, I was saying, Triple H is doing his thing. WWE is going to do that. Now, a year later, they're not doing shit. No one can tell me different. They're worrying about AEW. And by them being worried about AEW, they're doing all these business deals with other, streamings and, sporting streams and all that. Meanwhile, the freaking product is suffering. How many times am I going to see Jacob Fatu and the Jey Usos and now Sami Zayn is not being pushed for, I don't know for what? The same shit with the my tree, my family tree, with the guys, all these guys. It's just nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's just nonsense. And it doesn't, I don't even want to watch this shit on Friday. And then on Monday night, it's even worse. You got CM Punk, LA Knight, and now Jey Uso. Why is Jey Uso in the middle of all this as a title picture? Jey Uso had his title shot. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make no sense to me at all. Okay? It's just like it's the same shit every single week. Every single week. You know what I'm saying? Guys, if you want to subscribe to the channel for the latest news update in pro wrestling, hit that notification bell. And new upload, hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to ask questions during the feed, you're welcome to. So, but yes, again, back to this. Let me know what you guys think, because at the end of the day, WWE is so, they're using TNA. That's the part I don't get. TNA has hardly nobody. They got wrestlers there that people don't care. You got Tommy Dreamer there. Being look, at the end, Tommy Dreamer is a puppet for WWE. So is Carlos Silva and anybody that works there. The Dudley Boys, the Hardys, puppets. Okay, don't let me get started with Bully Ray, because Bully Ray, they just gave him the House of Glory world title. I don't know why. That's why I stopped going there. Well, I mean, I don't know what they're doing there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of pushing younger talent, they're giving belts to guys who passed their prime that had no business in the ring anymore. Okay? I don't care anybody tells them. I don't give a rat's ass. My platform. So, at the end of the day, like I said, people like there's certain podcasts too. They do the hurrah thing. Oh, WWE's working with TNA. Well, meanwhile, when TNA was not working with WWE, they didn't care about TNA. But TNA right now is a collateral damage. Yo, what's going on? So TNA is going to be collateral damage, and me personally, I feel that if TNA does go on Wednesdays to go against AEW, they're going to suffer. And I tell you that right now because they had a pay-per-view this past Friday for free on YouTube. And only 883 people were watching it. Okay. And if WWE, the only way they could be successful if WWE lets them use NXT talent. But how many people are going to get tired of seeing the NXT talent when they see it on Tuesday? Okay. And the only reason they're doing this is because they're trying to be, not only they're trying to kill AEW, but they're taking the steps that AEW does. See, AEW works with every company in the world. Okay. All those belts that Mercedes Moné has, they working with AEW because AEW is not going to let Monet go to a company that they're not working for. They got their belts. Girls, what? 8 belts Monet now? And whatnot. Might be going for 9. Okay. CMML, the best Mexican wrestling company there is, bar none. Okay. And I never hardly used to watch that. Only when they did a Ring of Honor, Worlds Collide or, stuff like that. But you look at the talent, it's way better than AAA. AAA is just a gimmick shit. And I never liked the AAA because they started going down, especially with Conan. They get Conan Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame for what? Because he wrestled in Mexico? What happened here in the States? He was part of the Wolf Pack. He was a mid-card wrestler. But WWE gave him Hall of Fame status. I don't get that. I don't get that. Hold on, that TNA pay-per-view show on pre-show on YouTube. No, it was a pay-per-view on YouTube. Or it was on YouTube for free because I read it online. It was 883 people watching Emergence or Resurgence, whatever the hell the name of the pay-per-view was. You know what I'm saying? So TNA, I mean, like I said, the only way TNA could be successful, first of all, they need to take that Nick Khan puppet, then Carlos Silva out of there, because I don't think he even know what the hell he's doing. Okay? And if you're gonna bring wrestlers, you need to keep them. Not keep them there for short time like TNA does. Because the only thing TNA is known for is picking up WWE wrestlers, and within a month, they got the world title. And if you don't believe me, go to most of their pay-per-view where wrestlers from WWE was there. Okay? Naomi went in there, and within a month, she had the belt. WWE is known for that. TNA is known for that. So the only way that they could compete with AEW if they bring talent like the way AEW has, and then it could be competitive. You know what I'm saying? It could be very competitive. But we know it's not going to happen. So my Wi-Fi is acting up again. I don't know why. But that is it for me today, guys. Let me know what you guys think and whatnot. And let me know if you have any other idea. Let me know what you think about Takeshita winning the G1 Climax, and would this carry over to the to AEW? Have him have a match with Okada, which would be cool. Also, let me know what you think about this whole WWE obsession with AEW, because it's an obsession. You can't call it nothing else. If you're not worried about AEW, do your thing. Why are you worried about AEW's doing? You even going for the TV deal? You know how petty that shit is? That shit is mad petty. It's the way I see it. So, guys, follow me on Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, and of course on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know what you think and whatnot. We're trying to get to 500. We are 38 subscribers away from 500. Check out all the other contents I have there and whatnot. I got shorts. I have the Chokeslam Wrestling Live, which I do on Tuesdays or Thursdays whenever there's a big story. I also have all my episode here that I can see. You can see this episode 258, if I'm correct, or 259, one of those numbers. Okay, and let me know what you think and whatnot. And of course, check out the podcast store. We have a podcast store. We got t-shirts, hats, and hoodies. The fall is coming through. Go check it out at tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. And let me know what you think about the merchandise in there. And let me know if you like it. And buy something for your friend or somebody. You know what I'm saying? You got, like I said, t-shirts, hats, and whatnot. And so you can enjoy yourself. So let me know, guys. Once again, thanks a lot for supporting the podcast. I will see you guys during the week with more of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.